What's up, guys? Welcome to Bullish Bets. On this channel, we cover all things related to stocks and investing. In our previous video, we've been doing a deep dive on BlackBerry, and today we're going to continue and talk about BlackBerry Spark Suites. Keep in mind that we're not financial advisors, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Make sure you do your own research before making any investment decisions. Like I said, this video is meant to do a deeper dive into BlackBerry. We've already discussed John Chen and his mindset as a turnaround professional, the huge potential of BlackBerry QNX in the EV and autonomous driving market. And if you haven't watched those videos yet, we'll link those videos in the comments below so you can check them out. So let's talk about BlackBerry Spark Suites. So Spark Suite is a unified endpoint management and unified endpoint security service. So essentially, it's in the IoT industry, which stands for Internet of Things, which it provides services in terms of connecting all your devices together, whether that be tablets, laptops, printers, wearables, and so forth. Anything with information and data going to it allows you to manage it all in one secure platform. And in this video, to keep it simple, we're going to break it down into three sections. The first section, we're going to talk about the market size and the opportunity for Spark Suite. The second is the competitors in this space. And the third is why BlackBerry has an advantage and will more than likely dominate. So let's talk about market size. So Spark Suite offers solutions in both the Unified Endpoint Management and Unified Security space in a bundle. It's looking to create synergies as a full service solution for customers in both the UEM market and the global endpoint security service. So we're going to look at the market size of the UEM space first. It has a forecasted revenue in 2027 in terms of market size of $23.98 billion, and its current market size right now is only $3.41 billion. This report I'm looking at, however, doesn't really count for new work from home standards since COVID hit. With the remote workforce being a norm, companies were not prepared, so they didn't have solutions for employees, accessing corporate data information behind a firewall that's built. This is further the need of UEM solutions that's secure, which will essentially increase the market size. This is exactly what BlackBerry is offering, and this in itself will increase the market size. So the endpoint security has a market size of $16.6 billion as of 2019, and it's projected to reach $30.83 billion in 2027. The growth of the two markets gives BlackBerry a lot of room to grow the revenues. The total market size of both the endpoint and security solutions is currently around $20 billion if you add them together, but the market size will grow to around $54 billion by 2027 if you combine them together. So let's get into the competitive landscape of endpoint management and security. It's currently very fragmented at this point, and it's most likely going to consolidate in the near future. The most notable competitors right now are Citrix, IBM, Microsoft, and VMware. And now let's look at the competitors in the endpoint security space. This includes CrowdStrike, Microsoft, Palo Alto for the client. Microsoft is in it. And what will really give you a better understanding of what some people are saying about competitors, we're going to look at what the bears are saying in Morningstar, and hopefully it gives you a better understanding of what might happen. But just to foreshadow, this is not a great report, and I'm going to tear it into pieces. So according to Morningstar, BlackBerry controls around 11% of market share in the UEM market. And this solidifies their presence because they're already having a large market share in a small market that's potentially really going to grow. So, but however you read further, and it looks like the Morningstar analyst for this report, just dumped a bunch of money on shorting and buying puts on BlackBerry, and he talks about how BlackBerry, we think these results from comprehensive portfolios of endpoint solutions that are fragmented of $3 billion. The UM market is not enough on its own to bestow a moat on BlackBerry despite its impressive market share. So it's saying that BlackBerry, isn't going to grow with the market share, and it's not sustainable, even though it's predicted that the market share of UEM is going to increase to around $27 billion. On top of that, later they talk about, they dare to bring up CrowdStrike in the endpoint security, saying they're no match for their AI detection abilities. They mentioned that competing with unique best breed services like CrowdStrike and unmatchable breadth of Microsoft, BlackBerry is likely going to struggle to keep old clients and win new ones. Even the silence, machine learning, and AI detection abilities aren't really going to help. So what they're saying is, even with good product, BlackBerry can't compete with CrowdStrike. So before I tear it apart in a few seconds, I'm going to talk about BlackBerry and why they have a strong advantage. And this is wrong. This report is completely wrong. So let's talk about BlackBerry and BlackBerry's upside with Spark Suite. It has a huge potential in the UEM and UES space. The fact that BlackBerry can't compete is wrong, because they're creating a full software service that will cover endpoint management and security needs within Spark Suite bundle. If anything, this is all-in-one product that will make it more enticing and leading it to increase its market share furthermore and make it easier to sell. So we look at this. The dollar-based need retention rate, according to John Chen's transcript on his last earnings reports, was 92%, and net customer churn was 3%. And billing growth rate was strong sequentially at 23%. This means that customers like BlackBerry UEM products and continue to stay with them. This proves that Morningstar is already wrong. They're going to continue to grow in the UEM space, and that 11.8% is going to continue to grow. On top of that, they're upgrading customers from UEM service to Spark Suite, which includes Unified Endpoint Security. They included United States Air Force, which upgraded over 90,000 users from UEM to Spark Suite. Other wins include UK Ministry of Defense, Royal Canadian Mint, Banco de Mexico, New Zealand Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Rolls-Royce, Lloyds Bank, Mitsubishi, and that's just to name a few of them. They're going to continue to grow, and people need their service. And especially with what's happening recently with recent Solarwinds hacks with Microsoft. Hackers study Microsoft source code, for authenticated emails. VMware was affected also, and they were all affected in the UEM space because they didn't have a secure service. BlackBerry Guard customers, however, were safe from clients were safe. Clients are safe from the hack. So what's going to happen? Clients are going to want to migrate to a solution that offers UEM solutions that are secure. Now, BlackBerry being able to protect this customer shows that it can offer this secure solution. Companies like Microsoft and VMware, which probably has a larger market share in the UEM space and security, endpoint security, they're going to lose market share because it's huge costs. Potentially, it can potentially lead to a lot of money. So according to this article, it's going to cost around $100 billion to investigate and fix the issue from the hack. Why wouldn't you want to work with BlackBerry and pay them, let's say $10 billion to save $100 billion cost? BlackBerry customers weren't affected. They don't have to deal with this cost. Everyone working with Microsoft's and VMware and other Unified Endpoint Management Services and security services are going to struggle and pay this cost. So might as well, in terms of enterprise mindset, they're going to pay the cost up front so they mitigate the risk of $100 billion loss. Now, let's talk about how, according to Morningstar, BlackBerry can't compete with CrowdStrike. It is a completely false narrative. BlackBerry won a bunch of awards in 2020 from cyber defense magazines. They won Security Company of the Year. They won Best Security AI. They won Best Security AI of 2020, Most Innovative Cybersecurity Company, Best Cybersecurity Podcast, Best Cybersecurity Company. So they're saying that BlackBerry's product can't compete with cybersecurity is just wrong. And also in an interview, John Chen talks about how they bought Cylance at a discount. They bought it at a 6.6 times revenue to 6.7 times revenue, and CrowdStrike is valued at a lofty 40 times revenue. However, he does acknowledge that CrowdStrike is growing faster, but they're spending a bunch on sales and marketing to ramp up for the recent IPO. But what's great about Cylance, it has 100% plus retention rate because existing customers stick with the platform and actually expand their spending on the platform. And I just wanted to verify what John Chen said, see how much they're spending on sales and marketing. If we look at BlackBerry, last quarter, they spent $83,000 on sales and marketing and made $218 in revenue. That's around 38%. And the quarter before that, they spent around $79,000. And I'm sorry, these are millions. So 83 million and 218 million versus 79 million, and they made 260 million in revenue. That's around 30%. So we jump to CrowdStrike. Their sales general administrative expense is 133%. I'm sorry, 137 million, and the total revenue is 232 million. That's around 68%, 65% ish. And the quarter before that, they spent 124 million, and they only made 198 million revenue. That's 62% sales and marketing to revenue ratio. So you can tell right here that CrowdStrike is growing faster, but BlackBerry is spending way less on sales and marketing, and they have larger revenues. That being said, that it's going to include some from QNX and so forth, but BlackBerry still has more revenue with less spending. BlackBerry is focusing on creating a full service platform that CrowdStrike can't compete with. It seems like they're spending more on sales and marketing than they're actually cash flowing, which explains their growth. So to conclude, let's just say Morningstar is right and BlackBerry can't maintain 11% market share, and they end up with only 5%. But that market share calculation of both the Unified Endpoint Management and Endpoint Security space, adding up to $54 billion in market size, BlackBerry will still have a $2.7 billion in revenue by 2027, with just Spark Suite's bundle alone. This is not including BlackBerry QNX and Ad Hoc and the other services that they offer. With the arguments that we just made that BlackBerry is going to make strides to dominate both industries with Spark Suites, with its current awards right now in cybersecurity and so forth, let's say they grow their market share to only 15% in 2027. They're going to have a revenue of 8.1 billion by 2027. And in our honest opinion, this is a conservative growth estimate. As companies and government agencies will more than likely leave unsafe platforms to join BlackBerry due to the crazy Solarwinds hack and breaches. Which is, BlackBerry is secure, and potentially it can save them from hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in terms of liabilities and so forth. So even with Spark Suite alone, BlackBerry has huge potentials. They acquired Cylance at a huge discount to create a strong economic moat that will make them the go-to provider for UEM and UES. in terms of the Spark Suite bundle, and the market size now of both is a combined of around $20 billion, and it's going to be $54 billion in market size in 7 years. In our honest opinion, $30, which is a $16 billion market cap by the end of a year, is completely possible when you compare it to CrowdStrike, which is a $44 billion market cap, doing half the revenue of BlackBerry, and spending twice as much on sales and marketing for growth. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think BlackBerry Spark Suites has a huge potential, or do you think BlackBerry can't compete like what the analysts on Morningstar's claim? So that's it for this video. If you liked our content, please subscribe and smash the like button. This really helps us as we use it as feedback as to whether the content we're creating is good enough and it's worth it. So thank you guys very much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.